Hi everyone, welcome. Goodness, we only moved 50 kilometers and I cannot believe the difference in weather. Anyway, before I'm freezing my tush off, let me get on with my royal chat for the day. Okay, guys, sometimes I can just laugh out loud by myself when I have to look into things in order to bring you these videos. One of you asked me to share whatever photos I had of Meghan as soon as possible after Archie's supposed birth. And the first one which came to mind were of her at Trooping the Colour on June the 9th, 2019. And then after that, attending a Major League Baseball game between the Yankees and the Red Sox on the 29th of June. So both attendances were before Archie was 2 months old, supposedly, allegedly, okay? So for the subscriber who asked, here are 3 photographs. One of Meghan when they introduced Archie to the press, the second one of her at Trooping the Colour, and the third one of her at the baseball game. Yes, indeed, I agree. I find the one at the MLB game a little odd because her stomach appears flat while her hips appear puffy and wide. But I will leave it up to you, the experts, to decide how authentic that supposed baby weight is, okay? I honestly, personally, do not put a lot of emphasis on it because she could have taken some hormones to make her lactate. We don't know. But what I found while looking for these photographs is indeed really, really interesting and also, to an extent, very funny. I mean, oh, how short our memories are. But don't worry about it. Meghan's memory is indeed worse. Let me tell you all about it. And to do so, I'm going back to that MBL game. Remember when they were at the game and Meghan hugged Mookie Betts, the Red Sox outfielder? Yes, the hug came because they had allegedly learned that they were distant relatives as their ancestors are from the same part of Alabama. Guys, I've calmed down now, but I laughed until my stomach hurt. You see, I cannot actually dispute that Meghan and Mookie Betts are somehow distant cousins, because indeed there is a Betts in Doria's family. Now, I mean, who knows? We all have distant cousins 5, 10, 15 times removed whom we don't even know about. I mean, if I go to Google and Google my maiden name and male family names, I likely have 100 or more distant cousins. So really, I mean, who knows? But what really cracked me up is the fact that the surname Betts is most prevalent in the United States, with approximately 54,900 people bearing that surname. And then the highest density of the surname is to be found in the Falkland Islands. Now, number 1. Shall we go ask Mookie Betts whether he has any Nigerian ancestry? I mean, even just a drop of Yoruba blood. And if so, what percentage would that particular DNA make out of his total DNA? Don't you think that would indeed be very interesting? Okay. Now, while we are on this subject and drawing the poor Betts family into Meghan's lies, let's also remember that in 2017, when the relationship between Meghan Markle and Harry first made the headlines, there were stories galore about Meghan Markle's familial link to none other than, ta-da, Winston Churchill. And that's not all. And guess who else? Ta-da! Drum roll. Shakespeare. Oh my God, I cannot bear it. It is so funny. It is like a comedy writing itself. Now, let's also not forget that Meghan got a free trip to Malta to go research her Maltese ancestry, which later turned out to be a load of nonsense, and and that one of her Markle ancestors only stayed there for a while, likely because her husband or her father were stationed there. Remember that the Queen and Prince Philip also lived in Malta from 1949 until 1951, when Prince Philip was stationed in Malta as a naval officer. And it appears that Meghan's ancestor was there for the same reason. They said she was born there because her father was stationed there, which doesn't make her Maltese. I mean, if a British citizen gives birth to a child in South Africa, that child's not necessarily South African. They are also registered in Britain as a British citizen. Okay? But anyway, as I said, that doesn't make her ancestor Maltese. But Meghan used that piece of history or story to get herself a free trip to Malta via the Elle magazine. But the fact that the Queen and Prince Philip lived in Malta for 2 years effectively raises another question, and my question is, did Meghan Markle use her supposed ancestry in 2015 already to get closer to and or mirror the royal family? Were her intentions of becoming a real-life princess set in motion in 2015 already? Now, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you that I think so. I really, honestly, and truly think so. I also believe that Meghan is indeed exploiting her mixed heritage for all it is worth, using it for attention, using it for financial gain, and using it fraudulently. I know some of you find history boring, but I have very few goals in terms of this particular channel, but to bring you the truth after indeed looking for and finding the truth. And that is why this particular channel is relatively drama-free. So I'm going to give you a very short, only a minute or two, history lesson. Seeing that Meghan's black ancestry through her mother can be traced relatively far back to at least the 1830s to Richard Ragland in particular, who was born in Jonesboro, United States. It is fairly certain that her black ancestors landed in America as a result of the slave trade. So with that in mind, it is also true that approximately 12.5 million Africans were transported to the Western Hemisphere between 1515 and 1865, of which the overwhelming majority landed in the Caribbean and Latin America. Only an estimated 3 to 5% were sent onto mainland North America, despite the fact that there is, in modern-day America, a good portion of African Americans with a percentage DNA pointing back to a Nigerian ethnicity. There is indeed very, and I mean very little, documentary evidence of captives transported from what is now Nigeria to North America. It is thus more likely that the percentage Nigerian, whichever ethnicity, be it Yoruba or whatever, Meghan may or could come from a later or more recent addition. However, there is no denying that Meghan have African heritage or DNA. It is just scientifically and logically impossible that she has 43% of some Nigerian ethnicity, as it is more likely that she will also have a percentage of DNA from places like the Congo and Angola. So, again, scientifically, Meghan's black ancestry and DNA will be far more diverse than her white ancestry, far more. And yet another reason why she cannot be 43% Nigerian. Like a learned friend said in simple terms, if Meghan is 43% Nigerian, Doria's ancestry since 1830 until now would have been almost 100% an ethnicity from Nigeria, with Meghan's closest ancestor, her mother, being 86% Nigerian. He did a quick calculation, which he said he will redo more thoroughly, but at a quick glance, if Doria was 86% Nigerian, or one of the Nigerian ethnicities, then only 3 at most of her ancestors since 1830 would have been anything other than Nigerian. Now, we absolutely 100% know that that is not true. So there's no way Meghan can be 43% of any Nigerian ethnicity, be it Igbo, Yoruba, Fula, Okobo, or whatever else. And if Meghan is refusing to take a public DNA test to prove us and the Nigerian people wrong, maybe Mookie Betts can go ahead and do so, seeing that they are related. Anyway, so do you guys see the joke? Anyway, I think it is deplorable that Meghan is defrauding and hurting people who mean well by using her multiracial background, not for the good of all, but to gain material wealth and travel the world for free. The Nigerian people should have bagged a cup she drank from, or a knife she licked, or whatever, and had it tested. Now, instead, they are waiting for some paperwork or some story to include in their history books, something which they will never, ever get. All the gifts they handed over, traditional shawls, beads, and honors, for what? For what? For a fraud who will likely, henceforth, try her best to ignore the people of Nigeria. Always remember that although there is truly no trace of it, Meghan, as a child and teenager, also told people that she was Italian or Spanish. The first time her high school teachers found out that she had a black mother was at her graduation. How sad and embarrassing for the Nigerian people. and for all the other African American people. Next time she wants anything from you, just go ahead and tell her, "Futsak, Meghan. Meghan, you are American, born and bred. You yourself said you are a Californian girl. Well, so go and be that and leave the rest of the world alone." Okay, guys, that is it from me on this chilly Sunday afternoon. Please take good care of yourselves until we meet right back here again tomorrow. Bye.